All right, it's day 83 of dropshipping, and today, honestly, this is probably the most valuable video I could probably ever make. And this is because I'm right at the stage where I've finished the product development, right? So my SaaS is done, and now I have to market. And I'm like on my whiteboard. If you guys didn't know, if you watched some of my previous videos, I have a huge whiteboard in my room, and I've written down like all the angles I personally want to do. And this made me realize that why do I want to like keep all this information to myself, right? Like, also, if you don't know me, I've already spent like thousands of dollars on meta ads. So if you want to learn how to do meta ads or literally just like become good at advertising, I'll let you know at least what I'm gonna do, right? And then in a couple more days, probably in a week or so, I'll let you know if the strategy works or not. So I think the best way to relay the information is not just by telling you facts. Okay, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. That's like pretty impractical, and it probably won't make you retain the information I'm talking about. So I'm going to do an exercise. Let's say this is not my actual SaaS, but let's say my SaaS, let me drink some water here. So let's say my SaaS was actually made so it cures cancer, right? So my SaaS, my software, if you use it, you're gonna cure your cancer. Let's say it was like that, right? So like super valuable, but there's a catch. My cancer saving software, the thing is, so it's not a cure, right? It's not gonna stop your cancer after you already have developed cancer, but it can prevent it. So it will prevent it 100% of the time. So let's say it's already been around. My software, the one we're trying to market today, the one we're trying to learn how to market today, has already been around for let's say 100 years, right? And everyone who has been using that software every week or so has never gotten cancer. That's how, like, 100% success rate of the software. It's been around for 100 years, so we already know it works. But the problem is, you kind of have to now convince someone to use it, even though they don't have cancer. So that's where the advertising comes in, and that's where we actually have to be very good, me and you, in advertising. So I'm gonna go over like things we should do to make like the first batch of ads work. Number one, on meta ads, and I'm only gonna be talking on meta ads, that's what I know best. I've tried organic, I was dog shit at it. I've tried Reddit marketing, I was dog shit at it. I've tried Twitter marketing, I actually was pretty fine already. Honestly, Twitter, I'm not bad at it. Cause I know how to do I know how to write copy, I guess, a little bit. Alright, that's besides the point. But still, like Twitter, I have to DM a bunch of people like, yo, freaking, what's it called? Freaking promote my brand, right? Like, and no one responds, takes too much time. I'd rather you do meta ads, I'd rather myself do meta ads. So for this new SaaS, I'm only doing meta ads. So okay, meta ads. Number one thing, when we do the first batch of ads, we never want the same concept or the same angle on all the ads. Let's say we're doing 5 ads, like around 5 ads on the first batch of ads, right? That's our goal. You could do 3, you could do freaking 4, you could do 10, right? The more the better. But we don't care about like the quantity as much as the quality and the amount of angles we have. So for our software, you might think, okay, we only have one angle, right? We have the angle of curing cancer, all kinds of cancer, but it's really just one angle. Okay, that actually brought a good point, right? Like, okay, let's say it's like a specific cancer to make this simpler. Let's say it's which kind of cancer do we do? Let's say it's breast cancer, right? Let's say it only cures breast cancer for like the past 100 years and it's been tested and everything, right? So your target audience is mostly women, and probably women in like a bit older. So you probably are not gonna go after women who are like 20 or something, because even though they could get breast cancer, you just don't. Like a lot of 20-year-olds, they're trying to get their life together. They don't know, like they're partying in college. They really don't care about like all this health related stuff just yet, you know? They might care about health, but all their health related stuff is really them just looking good, right? So they might, if you were to sell them like a pill that is gonna make them lose weight, or like a software that makes them lose weight, like Calorie AI, Cal AI, that's probably a better software for them. But for something like breast cancer, because a lot of people just don't, a lot of young people just think they're invincible. You don't want that, right? So that's already like avatar identification right there. It's going to be older women, probably like 35 or above, and then all the way to like freaking 60 or something. So this is our age range. This is what we have in mind when we're trying to make meta ads. Do not put this in the meta ads thing. Don't say, oh yeah, a recommended audience freaking, oh yeah, I want to do 35 to 70 or something. Don't do that actually. So let Meta figure it out. Their algorithm is very good. Don't even put you on a market to women, right? It's just like leave it. It's probably gonna up your CPMs. And Meta's like smart enough to know like who the hell your audience is after spending even like 20-30 bucks. It will already know by then, right? Okay. So we already established, okay, why do we want a bunch of different angles for each ad? Let's say we're doing 5 ads. Why do we want different angles? The reason we want different angles is because your ads, like by just changing the hook, and just like changing up like the middle part, like the freaking body of the ad. Like, let's say we're doing only video ads because that's what I'm better at. Like the body of the ad and then the CTA. Like that stuff matters, but it matters marginally, especially in the beginning, right? The first batch of ads, you want that to be as different, like the angles has to be super different, right? As different as you possibly can, because you don't want like you just don't know what works yet. You might have a theory on what works, but you just don't know what works yet. And the only way to know is first release the first batch of ads. Whatever works, you double down on it in the second batch. And if the second batch ends up working out, you triple down on it. If it doesn't work out, then you try to expand more angles, right? And like eventually, even if you're like you keep doubling down and it works every time, you still want to test out a couple different angles afterwards. But this is not really about like scaling, because scaling, honestly, scaling is important, but the majority of the times your SaaS is gonna fail in the first batch of ads, second batch of ads, because you just don't know, like you're probably gonna give up, right? So we don't want that. This video is really for me, I guess, as well, where this is stuff I've really recently I've known about this stuff, but I haven't really implemented it because I never really wanted it bad enough. There's always been like certain advantages I had when I was dropshipping back in the day. When I was doing meta ads with dropshipping, I kind of could rely on other people figuring this out, because if a video gets a lot of views and you're like taking it and then you're cutting it up and you're doing like all that stuff's figured out for you. If it's your own software, you kind of have to figure it out, because that solution is pretty custom. No one has ever done it, right? So you got to figure this shit out. And like even my first SaaS, honestly, I had spent so much time knowing the avatar that it was kind of fine. Like I just knew what kind of worked, like for this second, but also because I was in the age range of the avatar. And when you're in the age range of the avatar, you might understand the avatar well, but the avatar itself might be a very bad avatar, right? That's why I think my first SaaS failed, because people were like younger and they just didn't have the spending power. That's why we're doing this cancer one right now. Like this is not my actual SaaS, but I'm just explaining it with the cancer one, because this is like the ultimate, this is a good age, this is a good avatar who has spending power, and you're solving a problem that they care about, right? No one wants to die. No one wants to develop breast cancer. No one wants to have their breast tissue removed because they got cancer. Like all this stuff, you could we're gonna get into everything, right? We're gonna get into everything. So okay, what are the devils? So this is the reason why we want to do a bunch of different angles, because you just don't know what works. And Meta, by you changing the freaking CTA on your first ad, it's gonna do like a slight difference, but it's not gonna be as much as you think. So do not focus on having a bunch of variation of the same ad in your first batch of ads for your SaaS. Okay, now that we know angles are important, in general, what kind of thing do we want to look for? Like, what do we want that will always work, basically? Number one rule, I honestly, I haven't, some of these things I'm gonna test in right now, right? Like with the new batches of ads I make. But I haven't tested them. So this is going to be really, this is going to be really interesting, right? But in general, these concepts should make sense. Once you hear them, you should be like, all right, damn, bro, that makes sense, Mohsen. I realize what you're saying. All right, number one general parameter we should be using for most of our angles is the fear of missing out, right? The fear of what will happen if I don't use a SaaS. In this case, the SaaS for developing, preventing breast cancer is you're gonna develop breast cancer. You don't want that. So it's actually the way this SaaS actually kind of makes it in already has it it fits perfectly. Sometimes it won't fit as well, but you gotta figure that out, right? You never want your SaaS to be totally based on a benefit. If you just tell people, all right, you're gonna get this benefit, then it's gonna work, but it's gonna work less than someone who's gonna lose something. So like if I told you, bro, just walk across the street, you might have a 50% chance of getting $1,000. Yeah, you walk across the street, you might get a 50% chance of getting, let's say, $100, right? Some people are not gonna walk across the street. That said, if I tell you, bro, I think, even if I don't tell them a 50% chance, right, there's a less of a chance, but I still tell them, bro, the $100 you were talking about, I just saw it across the street. I don't know if someone else already took it, but I saw it across the street. I didn't know it was yours, so I didn't pick it up. But bro, run to that shit right now. It might be there. Everyone's gonna run for it, bro. Like you yourself are gonna be like, damn, bro, I literally lost $100. I might just as well, like the mindset is because you've already lost it, or because there's a fear of missing out. Like you're gonna either lose something forever or you're gonna gain something. The fear of loss is always gonna be more than anything you might gain. I don't know if that's the best example, but you could use it for another example as well. Like if I tell you, oh, this thing is gonna make you, I don't know, bro. That's a good enough example. Like in general, you should know, like anything worth the loss. Like there's a reason why people don't take risks in life, right? And there's a reason if you lose, let's say you're doing like stocks. I personally don't trade stocks, but let's say you trade stocks or something. You know for sure, like when you get like a freaking 20% down, or like let's say you're 30% down on your portfolio, you feel like shit compared to being like 30% up. You feel good at 30% up, but it just doesn't feel the same at actually losing money. So fear of loss, you kind of want to play into that every time in your SaaS, right? You want to figure it out for your SaaS. It might not be as easy as the cancer one we're doing right now. All right, what's the second principle we really want to think about? Let me actually look at my board. All right, this is not, this is just like the way we are gonna format our ads, right? We want to start telling stories. We don't really want to tell facts. We don't really be like, oh yeah, this is gonna be, if you do this, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. Especially because the way facts are laid out, or a lot of times they're freaking like a sentence ends and then another sentence begins. In stories, you can tell people a bunch of information, and because people want to know what happens at the end of the story, they're literally gonna read, or they're gonna try to want to hear the whole thing. So we generally want to tell people stories, and you want, even if you're doing facts, you want to connect the sentence you're saying to the previous one. So use like, remember like back in the day, it's like 6th grade English, when people were like, oh, your teacher was like, oh, this sentence does not attach, or this paragraph does not attach. You got to do therefore, freaking, because, use, and, like all these things, right? Because this happened because of this happened because of that. Oh, this happened therefore. You got to use all these things in your ads. Don't just be like, oh yeah, this is a thing, this is a thing, this is a thing. No one wants to actually watch that video. If you want further evidence of why this is important, just watch like any viral video, like especially like AI videos where the person does not, you don't know the person, or like the freaking brain rot AI videos, like the Reddit stories. A lot of them use the same tactic. Let's see. Oh, another thing. Do not try to be the guy who's new to the market, right? Don't tell people, yo, this is such a new thing that everyone's been using recently, and it's so recent, and it's gonna change the world one day. No one cares. No one actually cares about your SaaS. No one cares about your company. Make it so, like, for example, the SaaS we're talking about, it's been around for 100 years, right? So you tell people, this shit's worked for 100 years now, literally 100% success rate for preventing breast cancer. It does not cure it, but it prevents it 100% of the time. This is, and then to go further along with it, you don't say only like freaking 10% of women are using this. Say 98% of women are using this. So if you develop breast cancer, let's say, it is low key because of like, you just like, I don't know, like you get what I'm saying, right? You gotta tell them, like, you gotta tell them they're missing out on something, of course, but you also gotta tell, like, you gotta create FOMO by also mentioning that this thing is used by literally everyone, and they're the odd one out for not using it. Not the other way around, that they're new to something. New to something only really works for like I don't know, bro. I genuinely think it's never gonna work as well as like being like it's never gonna work as well as a fear of missing out. For example, like all these course sellers, okay, me also, by the way, I'm never gonna sell you a course, right? Like this, like me giving out this information is really for myself. By me telling you, like I always feel like this is like all this shit, it sounds easy when I say this, but actually making these ads is super hard. You have to write down scripts, you have to run all this shit. And I'm just making low-key this video so I follow through with this. And then I'll report back if like my theories worked out. Okay. Also, one great example of the fear of missing out and that everyone, the whole world is using something and you're not, is what these sellers like to use and these info product people like to use. Like they're always about like AI this, AI that. Oh, all these companies are using AI. Oh, if you don't use AI, you're gonna be left behind. Do you know why they do that? And they don't like their offer is always like everyone else is doing this and you're going to be left behind if you don't do this. They never do the opposite where it's like this is a new thing to the market, even though AI is new, right? Especially like AI videos, like for them to actually get good, they've only gotten really good in the past year where it's kind of there's you can tell sometimes still, but like a lot of times it's like for the majority of people you might get away with like showing an AI video and people don't know. However, these guys were trying to sell you how to use AI. They never say it like, oh yeah, this is something new. They always say like literally everyone in the market's using this, and the people who are not, they're gonna get left behind. You want to do the same thing, right? Like I know you're not selling a course, but like you want to do the same thing with your SaaS. Don't be the new guy to the market. Be the best in the market and be the guy who everyone already uses. All right, no, well, what's another thing? What's another general framework? After I talk about all these general frameworks, I'm gonna start talking about like specific things in angles you kind of want to do. All right. All right, if I remember while I'm talking, I'm just gonna say it then, but I forgot, honestly. There was one more thing, like a general framework I personally look for. Let's see. Oh, also, yeah, this is the last thing. In general, bro, like everyone talks about, oh, this is the perfect hook. Oh, you use the AI hook. Like, bro, simplify everything you do. It doesn't matter as much as you think. Like, trust me, right? Like all this shit, like, well, people are like, oh yeah, this is the perfect hook. This is like, you want to look at super basic, right? Super basic human emotions is what you want to target, right? So, for example, for like the one that prevents breast cancer, you could literally be like, look at all these women for the past 100 years. Look at their faces. Look at how happy they are with their families that have not developed breast cancer because they used the software for every week of their life, or like some like around a week, like once a week in their life, and this is what helped them. You want to sell them an image. You don't want to you can't really sell a lot of stuff. You can still sell stuff, right? By giving like a problem and doing a solution right there, right? But still, it's gonna be a much easier sell if you sell them an image, right? A wish. For example, the reason, like for example, a lot of men are scared of losing their hair, right? They're like, oh, if I lose my hair, like this is very bad. And why do you think that is? Is it because they like it's not for some arbitrary reason, right? They realize that their want is to keep their hair. That's their want. So if you tell them like if you're selling them a product like minoxidil or finasteride or something that makes them keep their hair, it's gonna work. It's gonna work 100% of the time. But an easier sell would be to convince them why, like to make their wishes aligned with it. So there's a difference between a want and a wish. They want to keep their hair. Their wish is to be perceived as attractive by whoever they're trying to attract, right? So women are generally gonna find you more attractive if you have your hair. Like what's another thing? There's more social status. If you see a bald guy, generally like people might consider that like, oh, like some people still have like negative, like this is not true at all, right? But like a lot of people, you know, when they tell you, oh, you're losing hair because you don't have the perfect diet, right? You know the reason why that is because people think genuinely, like these guys are honestly like pretty stupid, right? I don't agree with them, but they think that if you lose your hair, it's because your dietary choices or because you weren't healthy or because you're too stressed. So like these guys, this is still the general public. So you could also play into that where you're like, this is totally false, but people believe that because they literally, like, they don't know any better, but like they will believe that about you as well, right? So if they're telling you like the way to prevent baldness is doing all these like lifestyle healthy things, is because some by indirectly they also think the reason why you're bald is because you didn't do all these things, right? So that's like another way, like you really are trying to convince people like this is their wish. Their wish was never to like have hair, right? Like if tomorrow, like if I wake up and everyone likes Saitama, like the anime character who's fully bald, I would go bald too. Like if I know every girl in the world likes like bald guys, I'm gonna go bald too, right? The reason why I don't do that is because it's clearly not true. People like someone with hair. So men do a lot of things just to keep their hair, because their wish or their want is never to keep their hair. No one gives a shit about hair. People care about attracting other people. That's the only reason people want hair. So you like with your general ads, bro, show them someone they wish to be like. Show, like for example, these guys were selling you like fake courses and like all this shit. The reason why they get away with it is because they sell you the Lamborghini. They show you, even if they don't have to say it, they show you all this stuff. You want to play into their wishes. You don't want their wants. There's a reason why the guy, like for example, when I was like 14, I bought like Tai Lopez's course. It's because he was like, oh yeah, you know what I care more about than these Lamborghinis? It's knowledge. Here in my garage, you know? That guy. I bought his course back in the day. That's the only course I bought. But the reason, because he played into my wishes. It was like, and bro, like the way his like funnel was is insane, bro. I now realize why I got looped into it. It's the only course I bought. Is because a lot of the things like he did like basically everything I'm saying like in direct response marketing. He did it basically perfectly, bro. I remember there was like the 67 steps program, and he said also like I'm never gonna sell a course, right? I only say this because I've also made a video about this where like I'm just like appreciating the marketing. I don't agree with it at all, right? Because I even fell for it myself, and bro, the course itself was not good at all, right? Like but like one of the things he was like, oh, I'm gonna stop this in the next day. So there was fear of missing out. Like everything I've talked about, all these guys are doing. You're just not doing it because you just think, I don't know what the hell, why you're not doing it. You think I'm the software guy. I can't be doing this thing. This is for the e-com people. This is for the scam actors. This is for these guys. But your dumbass doesn't, like every big company is doing it. There's a reason why like literally now there's an AI war between freaking Claude and ChatGPT. ChatGPT said they're doing, they might like for their free users only, they're gonna put some ads into their into ChatGPT, right? And then freaking Claude, they've released so many ads shitting on ChatGPT, and there's so many great videos on it being like, oh yeah, so like today I got a video from Claude where it's like the ChatGPT, like someone asked ChatGPT, how do I lose weight? And then ChatGPT asked him, oh yeah, what's your current weight? What's your current height? So I know if you actually have to lose weight. And as soon as the guy using ChatGPT said, oh yeah, this is my current height and weight, ChatGPT responded with saying, oh, you probably need shoe inserts because you don't, that's also going to improve your looks. And the guy was like, bro, what the hell? Like, why are you trying to sell me some shit when I'm literally just trying to lose weight, right? Give me a program. This is a video Claude made. So if you think this, like all the shit I'm talking about is only done by like e-com people and not like big SaaS companies, you're totally wrong, because Claude is doing it, and it's one of the biggest, it's probably, yeah, like in our generation, it's probably one of the biggest news startups in SaaS ever done, right? Like all these guys are doing it, but you're just a dumbass who thinks somehow you're gonna make this shit work without all this very obvious stuff that no one's ever done, like the whole world's using, but you're just gonna make a video, oh yeah, here's my startup and this is how you use it. Like you think that's a good ad. You want people to use your app, like I've seen these ads where they're like, oh, I made this ad and it works, but it's not gonna make you freaking go into like, you're not gonna make $100 million app by just be telling people, yo, like this is my app and the only reason you should use it is because I made it, right? It's like I'm like this new startup kind of guy, I'm making something. This is a reason why a lot of these YouTubers I watch, like I don't actually watch these guys, right? Because I think they're pretty dog shit at marketing, but they talk about like, oh, this is how you make a startup, this is my startup. And when they talk about the revenue, even their own users, like in their own subscribers, are not paying for their startups, right? That's why they're doing freaking 1.5K a month. Like even though they have like 200,000 subscribers, their month, like their first month of doing their SaaS, they made like $1,500 in revenue. These guys have 200,000 subscribers. So if people, their own subscribers don't care about their SaaS, like why do you think when you advertise and you just tell people, yo, this is my SaaS, it's gonna work out? That's a side tangent, but I had to explain that because yeah, I just had to explain that. All right. Now I'm going to talk about angles for this theoretical SaaS we're making, which cures breast cancer and has been around for 1,000 years. So of course, like the easiest one is like one of the ways, if you can get on Oprah or something, right, for this one, and like you can use your imagination on how to replicate this for like a news article or something. Like imagine you make like you got on Oprah and you tell people like that already, or like you associate with someone, like anyone who has like authority, and they're telling now when it comes out of their mouth, or they're gonna be like other people, like your audience is gonna believe it, right? So you tell people this software has been used by everyone who's using this problem, right? 90%. And if you're finding about this now, you're already late. Like something around there. You don't have to use the exact same wording. It doesn't have to be freaking Oprah, right? Like, no, you don't have like these angles that I'm describing are like the freaking ultimate things that would work out like quite well. Because I do know of a software like Quitter. I remember them getting on Oprah, and it was like one of their ads that works really well is by literally Oprah saying, yo, so what do you guys do? And then they describe their users like software people. This is actually happening, right? You think these are like far-fetched scenarios, but like if Quitter can do it, bro, you guys could probably do it with like breast cancer as well, right? But like this is just like me going over like ultimate angles that could work. So the first is like super social proof on why something worked, like why everyone's using it, and you're actually like fear of missing out. The other one would be like a simple like I remember when I was dropshipping, right? This is like the same format where it's just like one like for example, this is breast cancer, right? So you just tell like you have like a bunch of like collage which is like a good hook, and then you tell like, okay, one woman's talking about it, one woman's talking about it, one woman's talking about it. Everyone just brings their freaking their experience with your software together, and you just cut it up, right? That's another angle. So it's clearly very different than the first one, which was theoretically was the Oprah one, or like somewhere where it's like a lot of social proof and fear of missing out. Now you have another one which is like testimonial based. And all right, what's the third one? Also, bro, like don't ever think that Facebook like this, like a lot of times what Facebook will do is it might figure out that, okay, this ad is a really good beginner ad because it shows a lot of social proof and Oprah's literally in it, right? Like if you're a Quitter, Oprah was literally in this. Then when you have like the testimonial ad where it's like a bunch of different like people talking about their experience with your app, it's like it might be like this is the perfect retargeting ad. This is the first time they're introduced to your app. So Facebook eventually will realize this if you've spent enough money on Facebook, and it's just gonna take advantage of this. This is one of the reasons why we want a bunch of different angles. This is the whole reason why I'm doing this exercise with you. Because if I got on, because I've seen other startups do this as well. They get in the news once, and they get in like some kind of authority thing once, right? And then their whole rest of their life, they're only running ads for that one specific thing. They're just writing off things, and they think this is the best way to go. Because I literally can see their meta ads, like in meta ads library, I can just search them up, right? And this is like their whole marketing strategy, and it's a dog shit strategy because you're not taking advantage of all these other angles that could help a lot, you know, like perfect retargeting. You could do like a perfect CTA one as well, where it's just like an image ad. Actually, image ads worked out a lot for my previous startup, because it's not a good like thing for like the first time they introduced for to the ad, but for retargeting, it actually has pretty good ROAS, because it's like sometimes the image might be the thing where you just talk about your CTA, right? Like it might be like you have some kind of new offer or like something, or like they might have actually visited your website before and the price might have not been good. So you give them like some kind of incentive to go back on there, and the second time they're probably going to buy, you know? All right. Let's see what else. Yeah, bro, like honestly, like I'm not even if I try to go into this exercise more and I give you like exact other reasons why, like the cancer SaaS, like why, like different angles that could work, right? Like you want to play on different emotions. One could be like let's say like someone who has a family, like if you go really in deep into that. Another could be like Um, like another could be literally explaining why even though they're like 35, they should probably start thinking about this stuff, because it's not that a lot of like I don't know what percentage of women get breast cancer, but just you could tell them into the like you could literally sell them the thing where it's like, okay, yes, a lot of women who develop breast cancer, literally their breast tissue gets removed, so it's like a part of them gets removed. So you're literally telling them something they will miss out. It's not even a net benefit, right? And let's say only have to use your software for like 5 minutes, and it's been proved like for 100 years, people who only use it for like 5 minutes per week, it works out. Like, of course, the value proposition is so good that people will want to do it, right? Like my general thing with this was you don't really want like the same angle, like this, like my last software. One of the traps I fell into was exactly what I'm talking about. I literally had like one angle, and I tried to like do a lot with it, but that's honestly not the best thing. You might make some money with it, right? But it's just not the best. It's like the same thing where people who went on the news or like freaking Oprah or something, and they just kept using like Quitter doesn't do this, right? I've seen their ads, but like it's just one of their ads where they use like the Oprah thing. Like everything else is just normal. So like a lot of people, you generally don't want like just like one kind of angle, because you're losing out on so many things, right? And because if all your ads look the same, like the same person might see another ad, be like, oh yeah, this is the same exact script, why the hell would I watch this? Versus if someone was already like the first ad where you tell everyone you've been using this, the second ad where it gives like people like fear of why you should care, even at 35, you might develop breast cancer. Here's what would happen if you develop breast cancer. Here's like the survival rate, et cetera, et cetera. Because this is a prevention tool, not a cure, so it might be hard to sell, right? Like it's you have to get into their brains. This is the reason why I chose this specific software. And then like another thing would be like testimonials. And by the time they see the testimonial, they still might not be convinced. So then you have the image ad, which calls for like a perfect CTA, and you just put all this stuff in one campaign. Meta will realize, bro, like in one CBO, you put all these ads. Meta knows what the hell's up, right? You don't have to figure out, oh, this is my retargeting campaign. This is like all this shit. It doesn't matter. A lot of it's by literally people trying to sell you like dog shit courses, because they need to make something complicated, right? Like if I tell you something's easy or like something's very simple, then I don't know, bro. Like you guys want to hear this like this shit I'm talking about is so complicated that only like my method works, or like something like maybe my method doesn't even work, but like I know for sure like the same method I use is like used by a lot of other people, and for me I found like relatively good success, right? Like the reason my last startup failed is not because the way I structured my campaign, right? Like my campaign's always been the same. I've had a 3 ROAS with my campaign on other products when I was dropshipping, and I stopped dropshipping for ethical reasons, right? I've already talked about this. And then like the same campaign structure gave me a one, like literally like a one something ROAS, like very low ones ROAS. Why do you think that happened? Is it because the campaign structure was bad? No, it's literally because I made dog shit ads, and also because I literally had like very bad avatar, right? I honestly, like when I think about the avatar, I don't even know how it worked out. Like I honestly am super grateful to God that I didn't lose like money with it, at least. Yeah. So all like lastly, if you want to run meta ads, remember all these guys are trying to sell you a course. They're trying to make you like buy some bullshit. Literally think about this, okay? One meta, like you want one campaign, and then you'll have like one ad set to start out with, right? You put all these different ads with different angles in that ad set, and then next batch of ads, like well, let's say you have made more ads. How do you put it in? You just copy you just hit quick duplicate on that ad set, and you make a new ad set, and then you freaking switch out the creatives. So you switch out the ads for different ones, and that's literally all. One campaign, one ad set to start out with, a bunch of different ads to start out. Let's say 5, and then let's say after a couple days, you kind of know what's up. So you want to make more ads. You make a new ad set and you put new ads in there. That's literally it. One campaign till like you can probably scale that for a bunch of thousands, bro, like millions as well. Don't worry too much about like campaign structure. At least from personal experience, I've really not seen it matter. And like if I like worst case scenario, I know for sure you can get over 3 ROAS, right? With the campaign structure I'm talking about. So like if you if you need more than a 3 ROAS to make your shit like software work, then you have a shit software. Like you're not doing well with the margins if you need more than 3 ROAS, right? So don't worry about campaign structure right now. A lot of like SaaSes, you could probably like be more than fine with like a 1.5, 1.6, freaking 2 ROAS. If you get a 2 ROAS, bro, it's doubling your money, right? You should be more than happy with that. All right, bro. I don't know. Also, like one of the this is gonna sound very weird, but I don't know. Do you guys like when I'm sometimes I feel like I'm spiking my cortisol too much where I start I start raising my voice just to like explain something because I'm not really talking to you, right? Like I'm talking to you right now, but a lot of times it's literally to myself. So I'm looking at like past version of myself, all the mistakes I made. And the reason why I'm like putting everything I'm looking at for my new ads right now is because I haven't made a new ad yet. I have to do all of this for my SaaS. It's gonna take a lot of work and like yeah, it's just gonna take so much work, bro. It's so easy to say, oh yeah, this is an angle, do this, do this, do this, but actually like figuring out what your avatar wants, all this stuff, it's so hard, bro. Much harder than yeah, it's much harder than there's a reason why I didn't do it well for my last startup, is because in the back of my mind I kind of knew these things because I've seen them over time, right? But the amount of effort it takes to make a good ad, like actually, like the amount of effort it takes, you're gonna find this out when you're promoting your own SaaS, right? To have 5 different angles, I'm not talking about like different, just switching out the hook, right? On your first batch of ads, when you don't know if the software is gonna work out, like it's an immense amount of effort, but you got to do it, right? Like all these big companies are literally doing everything I'm saying. The more time that literally like start going on Instagram or like anything, you're gonna realize you're already seeing everything I said on your Instagram by either big companies or even these brain rot guys. But I don't know why you're not doing it, and I'm talking to myself really. I don't know why I wasn't doing it to like my like max potential. You want to take every advantage you can because these big companies can get away with having a shittier ad served to the right person because they have a big enough budget. For me and you, we just can't afford that, right? Like for us, let's say we've published 20 ads and only one of the ads is actually a good ad, right? That's the scenario where 1 out of 20 is a good ad. Meta will still spend on the 19 other ads. And even if it only spends $5, $6, or even $10, you might lose $200 altogether on those shitty ads. For a big company, it would not matter at all to lose $200. But for us, where it's our first or second or third batch of ads, $200 in the beginning where we're funding this ourselves is a huge deal. So your laziness is gonna cost you real money, and this is me literally utilizing one of the techniques I talk about because I'm not talking about gain by you having a crazy ROAS. I'm talking about losing money because this is what's gonna happen to you. You're gonna lose something. You should fear that you're missing out. You're not gonna gain shit by not doing this, right? You have to do these things. You have to get better. All right, I'll see you guys.